I used to walk these roads with you. Can't remember the last time I ran without you. Where do I go? Where do I go from here? Where do I go?
Welcome back everyone to another server development video. If you haven't seen the last video, you can do that in the playlist down below, as well as if you're new, you can read the description. It has a lot of good information there, as well as join the Discord. To join the Discord, just click the link and then type agree into the chat. Then that'll give you access to all the different parts of the Discord. The reason why I like to use Discord, because I give some different updates on what I'm doing, as well as ask for advice. For example, I asked if everyone wanted regular style enchant letters versus bold, and the overwhelming majority said yes, they want it like this, so that's what I've done, as well as a lot of other stuff, ask questions, and they gave me good feedback. But what I do in this video is I get all of the enchants done, pretty much. I actually do think I got all of them done. So all the tool enchants are done. What I did in this video is I got all the armor enchants done, and all of the weapon enchants done, and then I also got the slash enchanter done. So you can do the enchanter here, get the books like this, and this is how it looks. So you can also tell me down in the comment section or in the Discord what you think of this aesthetic. How does this look? I think it looks pretty good. As well as you can also just type in /EC. It's an alias, which makes it a little bit easier. I also do go over and show all the different enchants sort of working. I don't test everything, but this is a decent set. It's obviously not full 9 lore, but it's pretty much missing a lot of the debuff enchants that are kind of annoying to the player. But this has all of the surviving enchants. I do have a list in the Discord of all the enchants if you want to see that, but I will probably update it because I added some new ones here. Remember, I really need you guys' feedback because my goal is to make the best faction server, and if the players don't like it, then it's not a very good faction server now, is it? So I really need to know all your feedback on the different enchants, the way everything's set up. I'll go over that right now, and then I'm going to do testing of the enchants a little bit afterwards, and then I'll explain the code at the very end. Okay, so the first thing I want to do that's a little bit different is first, obviously, comment on how everything looks. I'll probably explain some of the enchants, but not all of them right now, because most of it's going to be in that notebook thing, but well, the document I have on my Discord. But first, tell me how this part looks, as well as the slash enchanter. I think this looks pretty good in my opinion. It doesn't take the actual amount of levels, so it doesn't take 35 levels. It takes the amount of XP that's equal to 35 levels. So as you can see how much XP I have right now, 1,500. Doesn't take 35 levels, if that's some of you guys were asking that in the last video. But okay, so when you open the enchants, it does tell you what you get in the chat, as you can see there. So that's definitely something that's good, and this is how it looks. So the yellow part's going to be the description, but I haven't actually made the description for the enchants yet, so that part's still going to be added in the future. But what I do have is it tells you what it's going to be applied to, so that's why it says armor enchantment, and then drag and drop onto an item is going to be there for all of them. So for also everything stacks, so by that I mean is whatever it says in this sort of description means that's how it will stack. So for example, toxic, since it says armor, this means that you can put toxic on every single piece of your armor and it will just increase the percent chances of it proccing. So I know Cosmic did it a little bit weird and no one knew what stack would in because they probably didn't even know because they coded all wacky. But for example, unhinged, this is the thing that gives me the strength. That's what gives me the strength and then slowness. But I already cleansed the slowness off. Also, I'm going to have max of unhinged 2, which means max of strength 2, because Cosmic pretty much just made strength 3, but then increased all the health enchants to balance it out, well, somewhat balance it out, I guess, versus what I can do here is just balance it out so that's strength 4, strength 2. Because I also have a lot of damaging enchants on the sword, so I'll get into a little bit of that later, because I have a little bit different meta than Cosmic did, because I made the whole custom enchant plugin myself, I coded all of it, so I made it the way I think it'd be more fun, but I also want to get your opinion on it too. So as you can see, obviously this only works for sword. Sturdy, this pretty much will just increase your durability on your gear when you get hit. So it just makes it so your armor doesn't break as quickly. And this obviously goes in every piece. So cripple goes in every piece, and then weary can go in every piece. So I do take this into account. So obviously there's things that can go in every single piece will have lower percent chances than ones that can only go on single pieces. But yeah. And then yeah, Magma Shade gives me the fire resistance. So also something else that I have different, you probably have seen, is there's no percent chances because I have no protection scrolls on the server because I'm doing it completely different way than most servers do it. Since I'm custom making all my plugins, might as well do something unique that I think is fun. It gets at the same point as having protection scrolls and percents, but without making all the enchants completely useless, I would say. Because every enchant here is extremely useful and will be worth some money. Some will be worth more than others, obviously, but so the way I have it right now is you have to apply the level 1 enchant first, and then you can apply level 2 enchant on top of it, then level 3, and then so on and so on. Versus just being able to apply like, okay, let's go straight to unhinged 2. You can't do that. You have to go start at unhinged 1 first. So for example, I can actually show that right here. So it's a helmet enchant, obviously. So if you have unhinged 2, it's not going to work, right? But if you take unhinged 1, there we go, unhinged 1. And then we can go like, okay, boom. Now it's unhinged 2. So that's the way I'm doing it. And this way all the books are worth something. I don't know, some of you might not like it because it's a little bit different. But in my opinion, it gets at the same concept. Also, I heard some people's fears in the last video saying that they didn't want to start all at level 1 enchants. But you will get like sort of envoy gears or something like that. I don't know. There's no kits in here at all. So if I do /kit, what the? Okay. If I do /kit, there's only a kit starter. Because, you know, you can't get armor from everywhere else because it's non-pay to win. And there's no G kits or anything like that. So what I do have in here is that I probably will have some sort of envoy or something like that. So you will be able to get starter gear, as well as something else I've custom coded here, which this doesn't actually fully work yet. But it is going to be in, like, that's a work in progress. That's actually what I'm working on right now, is doing this since I just got everything else done. And what this is you put a piece of armor in here that's not enchanted with custom enchants, and it'll give you a random array of different enchants. So this is how you can only do it when it doesn't have any enchants on it. So it's kind of like getting starter gear. So you can enchant it. Okay, you get random custom enchants, and then you can go from there by applying a books to it. So in my opinion, it's a really good way of going about it. If you haven't seen this part of the video, I talk about it in the last video actually. So that's really interesting. Remember, if you have any questions, to leave that down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer all those. And anything else here. I think I do want to talk to you about combo. So if you remember Cosmic, they have something called Rage. Combo is essentially similar, but not the same. And in my opinion, it's an immensely better way of going about it. It's not even comparable. So in Cosmic, you have the different random mobs. Oh yeah, second of all, I don't have any of those like random zombies or iron golems spawning on you, just smacking you to be annoying. So it's definitely, this is going to be a lot more PvP based. You're going to need a lot more skill. It's not going to be as luck based. So that's definitely going to be a big pro in my opinion. A lot of players will enjoy it. Some players might not like it, but I think it's going to be a good change overall. But what combo is, right? If you don't remember correctly on Cosmic, what you could do is you could essentially just have Thorns on your set and you would never get affected by Rage because it would automatically break. But on here, the only way combo is broken is if you hit the player. So if you have Toxic on your set, or which gives the enemy poison when they hit you, it's a chance to give them poison at least. What it essentially means is it's not going to break your combos. So just because you're comboing someone and they are blocking or something like that, you're not going to get your combos broken. And the only way to break the combo is if you actually hit the player. So for example, I have it sent to my chat right now because I'm testing it. But normally, if you can see all this random crap spamming to your chat, none of this is going to look like it besides in this part. It's going to be actually in game. The reason why I have this is just for testing. So the way I have it right now, you see, this is the damage multiplier if you didn't see. And then if I go like this on my other account, and then go back here, oh, it lacerated them. As you can see, now it's going back to 115. Start at 1, go back to 1.15. So if you don't know, the way I have it right now is combo 1. Every hit increases by 0.15 times damage. And then it's going to be, so it's going to be 1.15 times damage, then 1.125, then 1.1, 1.075, 1.05, 1.025. So 1.025 is going to be combo 1. So you just get a better damage multiplier for your combos as you go up. And it's going to be very essential to have combo in this server. It's going to be literally the best enchant by far. Lacerate's pretty good. It has a chance to do double damage. Trap's obviously good. Life heal's good. And then Therapy, what that does is a chance to divide your incoming damage by 2. It can go on all the pieces. So that's sort of my version of enlightened. It's not obviously the same, but it's similar. And then evade, chance to just completely not take damage from a hit. And then also I can obviously mess with the different percent chances of everything proccing, but so far it's looking pretty good. I do have some tweaking to do with it because this is the first time I've actually tested it, and it was looking pretty good, as you'll see in the upcoming clip here. But yeah, so what's your opinion on how everything looks, how everything's working? Everything applies to the armor correctly. Like I take this off, I get all the effects, everything like that. Also, I'm not gonna have any MC mode. This is obviously a terrible axe. I haven't actually made a good axe yet. But what cleanse does is it will be able to remove your slowness. Okay, I need to probably heal. Okay, but so let's see. Okay, that's terrible luck. I think it's like 1 in 4 or 1 in 5% chance of proccing. But then there's another one. Axe is pretty much going to be your tool for debuffing in this game. So there's no MC mode, but I will probably make another enchant that does more durability damage just for axes. But axes pretty much have a chance to remove pretty much all your debuffs. So literally all the debuffs, you have a chance to remove it with the axe. And it's pretty good percent chance too. So that's going to be what the axe utility is supposed to be. Sword is going to do more damage. Axe, more for gear breaking and getting rid of debuffs. So if you're trapped or something like that, you can remove the trap pretty quickly. And then you can get back to fighting or stuff like that. Blind is pretty annoying. You can remove your blind effect as well from it. But yeah, so that's essentially how I have the server. Tell me what you think of that below. Alright, now let's get to the clips of me getting comboed to the moon because I haven't PvP'd in like 2 years and I'm using default Minecraft 1.8.9. So that's obviously a good strategy where you get sprint keeps canceling itself. Yeah, tell me what you guys think and I'll see you later. Alright, we're going to do some quick enchant testing, but first we kind of want to show off the sets we have here. So Rubik's is going to be using kind of an older god set, and the one I'm using is going to be a newer version. Just because I added a couple of new enchants since then, like Therapy. He did copy my helmet because he had Unhinged 3, and we decided to switch to Unhinged 2 because Strength 3 is broken, and Max is terrible, but that doesn't really matter for now. So the main difference between these sets is obviously I don't have a lot of like Cripple, Frozen. Actually, I do have Cripple. I don't have a lot of like Frozen, Toxic, or all the other debuffing enchants, and then he's missing Lacerate. And then he's also missing 3 versions of Therapy. So you could put Therapy on everything, and what it does is it divides the incoming damage by 2. So we're basically going to test how the sets turn out, how the PvP is with pots, so you guys can see if it's decent. And then, yeah, we can go from there. We can make updates from there based on what you guys think we should add, change. And yeah, so combo is definitely the best thing. By far, because it's not nerfed to the ground like on Cosmic where Rage doesn't do anything. Alright, let's should we cleanse first? Easy. 1 tap. Oh, you have that hunger thing. I received health from what was it? Dash, yeah. You run around. Have a chance to get health. And this is also the spawn area, if you don't know. When working on the spawn, this was just a flat plane. Me and Rubik's actually been working on the whole thing. We built all this, including the spawn ship up there. Probably make a video on that later. But yeah, this is the spawn so far. It's pretty nice. We added all this stuff. And then I'm also balls of PvP because I haven't PvP'd in 8 years. Look at that paw action. Oh, that's trap right there. That's what I'm talking about. I was getting blinded. Therapy activated. What is it?
This isn't fair. I've been grinding out Apex Legends for sure.
Yeah, and I've been grinding out my computer code. You also are running on Lunar Client though, and I'm running on default Minecraft. Can't see crap.
How long does trap last?
Like maybe like 4 seconds or something. I got hit by the trap. That trap's actually freaking terribly toxic. So really, it's not gonna be very easy for me to get combos either because it's running on the server, so there's 0 delayed hits at all. And combos is how you do almost all the damage. Like that, it's probably hurting.
Oh.
Yeah, did that combos work?
Freaking
I had up
last week
to
works.
I had 2 times damage in the last raid, did you? Goodness. So I am in the most tanky set you pretty much can make, by the way, so. And this is only a 1v1 version, so it feels there's no 2 shots, and you're definitely taking damage. There's no way you can sit here and just not pot at all. Goodness. Therapy's
I wanna
freaking
see
going
your
ham.
hearts after.
Yeah, therapy's just popping off. I haven't actually seen what the best enchants are for that. I think last rate though is kind of low proc rate chance. It's something like, I don't even know, 1 in 20 or something. Maybe 1 in 25. Proc there.
My helmet is breaking really quick.
Blinds actually kind of makes these oh, what the heck, that lightning.
I got a double lacerate, bro.
That was a double lacerate proc, that's why I got...
Triple lacerate.
What the heck, my HP just got decimated there. I thought that was lightning. I'm like, no, that's not lightning. You're freaking lacerate just as fast. Oh, I got up to 1.7 multiplier.
More lacerate procs, but it's not doing crap. What the?
I was at like 1 heart.
Ego child me.
Yeah, I was at like 3 hearts. But I was on a combo, and you know how combo it doesn't pass. Your therapy. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. When you start getting those combos, you're gonna have to hit the person, turn around, or something. My therapy proc there, that was kind of useful. I don't know how it proc'd. Okay, I can't see anything. Blind? You got, what are these blind proc rates?
Why am I poison all the time?
Yeah, that toxic forward.
Give me a meta.
You have received health. You have received health. Thank you. Life heal. Yeah, well, that's some fun. I don't have any for pots. This actually feels like way better PvP than Cosmic has, to be fair. This Gacha PvP actually feels fairly nice. Damage-wise, instead of being like one-tapped or taking 0 damage. If you don't have any PvP skills on here, you're like screwed forever. Imagine this trap that screws me forever. God dang. Oh, my helmet just got nuked somehow. What the heck just... Was that like a last rate proc there? What the heck just hit me?
Yeah, I had max rage changes and I got lacerate proc.
I have no, I can't even get rid of the slowness.
He gave up.
Yeah, like I hit you like 8 times and didn't get the slowness. That's just blind now.
This new mouse is so good for tracking. Way better than my old mouse.
That's great. What did you...
It actually works perfect for Minecraft.
For real?
Yeah, Minecraft's all tracking.
It's true. Half the time I'm not even sprinting. I always have to re-click my sprint key every time. And there's nothing that tells you if I'm sprinting. Oh, what the heck? You're lagging your balls off.
What?
You're just like 10 blocks away from me.
On my screen, I'm like 2 blocks.
But there,
like 2
normally
blocks
you are, yeah, but that one time you weren't.
I got like 100 ping. Oh my, I'm dead. Jeez. Freaking trap, lacerate.
Yeah, I did, yeah, I lacerated you right there. You think about the like therapy, lacerate, things like that combo. How balanced do you think that is?
Therapy I haven't had much testing on, so I can't really give a full
You have
evaluation
therapy
of it.
on your set too.
Yeah,
It's
but
well, I mean, you had both sets. Like, does it seem broken? Is what I'm saying, or does it seem balanced? Because this one had therapy and invade.
no, it seems balanced. I like the time to kill.
Yeah, TTK is pretty good.
Sometimes, yeah,
That's good. That's good.
and with the lacerate, like if you have max rage stacks and you get lacerate proc,
Combo stacks. Oh my goodness.
seems to be a combo stacks. Seems to be a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, that's what I do think. If you get max
So
combo
if you're
stacks,
not good at PvP and you join the server and you die, then you'll get good at PvP. Right.
you have to get good at PvP to do anything here. The lacerate, definitely required in my opinion. Does a lot of damage. Does a lot of damage when it procs. Chance to double your damage pretty much, and then the combo up to a 2.6 times multiplier in combo 6. So that 2.6 times multiplier plus your lacerate proc, double shot pretty much, double damage. Yeah, that's you're not doing so good there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the debuffs so far?
Debuffs, they're definitely
Yeah.
annoying, but maybe blind could be nerfed a bit, just because
Yeah.
it's a uncommon enchant. So I think the proc rate should be nerfed a bit. The poison, the bolt, I think that's pretty good. The drowsy, and I think that's
Toxic.
pretty good. Yeah, toxic maybe needs a nerf a bit too. Yeah, I think even with antidote, it's still a bit broken. Maybe frozen too. I haven't actually messed with those. After we made it stackable, I changed it by like 4. Pretty much made it like 25%, reduced it by like 25%. So I think I definitely need to change that more to make it a little bit more balanced. Same with frozen, but it's not like too terrible because with anecdote, when you're hitting me at least, it does remove toxic pretty easily. But which kind of makes poison enchant the sword not very good, but it is an uncommon enchant. But I think if you're getting comboed, you're not gonna be able to. I mean, you're not getting comboed, but if I'm hitting you and then I get toxic procced, may need a nerf because that is pretty strong. But
Yeah, it will interrupt the running cycle or whatever.
yeah, what about trap?
However, Minecraft does it.
Oh yeah, they're running. Yeah, it does
Right.
mess up your sprint. Yeah,
Trap.
but I guess if you're running, the anecdote could basically just remove it, so it won't screw up as much. But yeah, trap. What do you think on trap?
I think trap's like one of like the stronger enchants. I think it's probably one of the strongest. It does proc
Strongest?
quite a bit,
Yeah, it's
even though I don't know. I got trapped. I got trapped a few times in some of those fights. Like almost all of them, I got trapped at least like 3 to 4 times.
yeah.
It's pretty out of I don't know, like 50 hits, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's 1 in. Actually, I can look. All right, yeah, at trap 3, it's 1 in 20.
1 in 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so 1 in 20 hits, you'll get trapped. But when trap and blind proc at the same time, that's, in my opinion, things start getting a little rough. So right here, this is the actual GUI. Not the actual GUI, but the click event for the GUI. So if you saw the GUI portion, how it has the 4 books, when you click on it, I'm going to be making sure the player has enough XP, and then I'll be removing that XP. So if you saw that it says it costs a certain amount of levels, I'm actually removing the amount of XP for those levels instead of the actual levels, because if you had like 100 levels, obviously losing 35 is going to be losing like 30 levels is going to be a lot more than just losing the amount of XP it takes to get to the first 30 levels, because Minecraft exponentially increases the amount of XP loss. Yeah, so every level that goes up is exponentially more than the previous one. So yeah, that would not be very smart. So yeah, I am removing the actual amount of XP. So I'm just using basic if and else if statements, and then the reason why we have set cancel here, or event cancel, is so that the player can't actually take the item out of the GUI. We just want to see if they're clicking on it. So after they click on it, we're going to want to give them the book. So what we're calling is this book manager, which is an object of the class, the book manager class. And then it's going to the specific one. So in this case, it's legendary because this is how much the legendary XP is supposed to take away. And then we're passing in the player that clicked on it. So we're going to hit legendary, but it works for all of them. Uncommon, common, and rare, depending on which one they click. And the way I check that is by checking the name of it, so the string of it. And then yeah, so then let's go to the book manager here. Yeah. So the book manager here is going to be actually creating the book. This is just the default book that doesn't have any enchants on it. It just has the name. So example like common enchant book, uncommon, rare, legendary, and things like that. So we're adding the lore here, and that's going to be light purple for this case. And depending on which one we call, it's going to be different colors. And then right here, this create new book, which is the object of the class right here. Reason why I'm calling that is just because I want to use this method right here. This method right here essentially just... Okay, yeah. What this method essentially just does is if the player's inventory is full, it drops the book on the ground instead of deleting it. So that's definitely going to be needed. But yeah, essentially what we're doing here is just dropping the book to the player, giving the book to the player. Now what happens when the player actually clicks the book? So this part starts to get a little interesting. Okay, I guess I don't need that there. But yeah. So right here, this gets a little bit more interesting, but I think as we move down, it gets a little bit more complicated. But essentially what I'm doing here, this part actually probably could be simplified a bit, but I don't think it really matters at this point. I may work on that later. I just want to focus on getting it working first and operational, which it's going pretty good as it is. But essentially what we're doing here is we're checking the string of the actual item that's been clicked. So this is the inventory click event, and we're making sure it contains this. So if the display name is this and the lore is this, then it has to be this. There's no other way to actually get this lore and stuff like that, this combination. So if the player has more than one of these items, we just want to remove one of them. Because if you have like a stack of like 5 of them, we want to make it into 4 when you apply the book instead of just deleting it right out. But if your items are just 1, then we're just going to set to null, which means we're just going to delete the item. And then what we're doing here is going the object here, enchants.get common enchant, and I do that for each one, so rare, legendary, all the way down, and just so it can correspond to the right one. Okay, so get possible enchants is what's called right here, and then we're passing in the player. Alright, yeah, so what I'm doing here is I made a hash map here. So we're going to be adding this is going to be the key, which is the first part to the string, and then the integer is going to be the value. So this is going to be for all the enchants I have so far right here. This is the max value, and this is the actual enchant name. So this part's really important. It has to be spelled the same as my other stuff because I'm going to be comparing the class names to the actual title here. But yeah, just all I have to do is not get a typo. But what makes this really nice is when I'm adding new enchant, all I got to do is pretty much go through here and just add another one like common enchants dot put whatever I want to put in there, and it's going to automatically allow the player to get that book in game. So that's pretty nice. And then also I can move these around easily by just copying it, and let's say okay I want this common to go uncommon, I copy it and move it to common. Move the common to uncommon, and now it's an uncommon book. So it's really easy for future updates. If we want to change the tiers around, change the max levels around, change anything around, I can do it super easily. So that's going to be a good thing to do in the future, just in case some of you guys aren't happy with what we have. I can always just change it around pretty easily. Okay, what I'm doing right here is creating a random number based upon the size of the common enchants, but it works for all of them. I'm just going to be talking about common enchants because it all works the same. So we're going to see how many actual enchants there are in the common enchants hash map. And then what I'm going to be doing here is I'll be looping through it using a for each loop, and when it gets that number, we're going to use that enchant. So hash maps start from 0, and then it works up to how many there actually are in it. So it doesn't start from 1 like some people might think, but yeah, it starts from 0. So that's why we have int I equals 0, and then so let's say we pull a 4. So let's say the random number is going to be 4, because it's always going to be 1 less than the size. So let's say we go 4. We're going to keep looping through this until I is equal to 4, and we have right here I++, so it's going to keep adding. So when it gets to 4, it's going to say, okay, so this spot right here, the 4th spot, which I guess would be the 3rd enchant, because if I equals 4, then it would be the 5th enchant. Yeah. So when we're at that 5th enchant spot, it's going to be getting the key, which is going to be the string name. It's going to be getting the value, which is the integer. So if you're wondering why I'm creating a random number based upon the max level, that's because that's what I'm basically doing it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be getting a random enchant in here, and then let's say we pick experienced. I'll be getting a random level of experienced. So yes, technically the ones with magnetic, you're more likely to get magnetic than, well, I mean, you're equally as likely to get a magnetic 1 book as all 5 experienced books put together. So it's probably gonna, I think I kind of like that way because it makes some books more expensive. For example, obviously your combo is probably gonna be the most expensive here, and then 4s are gonna be pretty expensive, and then 5s obviously, just because I don't know, like we kind of want some variety here, not everything being exactly the exact same. I guess life feels pretty expensive too. But yeah, so that's the way I'm going to be doing it here. So we're creating another number and we're turning it into a string value of it. So we're getting the string value of the random number, and we have to add 1 because of the way we go about things, because we could go from 0 to whatever number, but in reality we want to go from 1 to the max value because we're not using 0. Okay, so now here we're calling the object of the class create new book, and we're going to be calling the method called create book, and we'll pass in the player the actual enchant. So that's the enchant right here, the key, the string. And then right here, if you haven't watched the last video, essentially what this is doing is going to be turning that number into Roman numerals. So yeah. And then we're passing in the actual number here, which is a string. So I assume that I'm just comparing strings instead of integers to change into Roman numerals, but it works either way. I could change it around, but I think, I don't know, it just takes more time to do that right now. It works the same now. And then we're passing in the simple name common, because this part's really, really important. A common, rare, legendary, because that's how I'm going to get the chat color. So let's go here. This is basically the same way I always do it, how you create new books and things like that. But what I'm going to be doing is saying the display name equals get color equals book color. So how do we get the book color? Well, we get book color is the string here, so we pass in common. Okay, so we go here, the get color, which is a switch statement, and it says, okay, case common, return chat color dark gray. So that's what determines the chat color of the book that we're creating. And then we'll be adding the name. So that's the book name that we got right here, which is going to be the key value from that hash map, plus the book level, which will be the Roman numeral that we got. And then we're going to be wanting to add the lore. Okay, so you might be wondering why right here I'm calling the exact same thing. As you can see here, get lore book name, get lore book name. So you might be wondering why they're not going to return the exact same thing, but I'll show you why. I think it's actually a pretty good way of going about it, in my opinion. So what I'm going to be doing here is get lore, which is something I talked about a little bit in the last video, but I'm going to be getting the string name of our book and then comparing it to the class names. And then if it's a match, then we know that it has to be that class name, and then we can see what it's implementing, and we can get the values of that implementation. So example, combo, get type returns axe and sword enchantment, get lore returns combo enchantment. This is going to be the description, but I have to turn it into something a little bit different, probably like an array list or something like that. Yeah, I'll work on that later, but just the description. But basically, what I'm going to be going through here is we just want to get the lore value, book name, the lore value goes through here, and then we're going to be getting return. So let's say it's for a wearing enchant, even though combo is obviously not wearing enchant. Get lore, and then get type. So we're going to be adding the lore of it, and then we're adding the type to it. And the reason why I have this whole wacky doodle thing here is because it's going to start out at 0, and then obviously since it starts at 0, it's going to have to be 0. So then it's going to be, okay, add 1, so now it's going to be 1, but we're going to return the get lore value, which is going to be yellow. And then when we call right here the book name, we've got to go through the whole same process again, but now since this isn't true, since value equals 1, we're going to have to go to the else statement, and it's going to go back to 0, and it's going to return the type. So then that's how we get the type here. And then we just want to add this part here, which is a little description explaining it. We're going to set the lore, get the lore, and then I'm sending the player a message of the book they actually got, so that when they open it, they can see it in the chat. And then we're going to do the drop book thing again, which essentially means we're going to add it to the inventory. If the inventory is full, we'll drop it on the ground, so instead of deleting it. So yeah, that's basically how we get the book to the player and the actual correct book opened up.